With temperatures at 90, in the 90s across the country, the action heating up tonight here in the Simulation Football Minor League as the Annapolis Navigators get set to take on the Madison Lynx. This is the SFLm here on SFLm YouTube. My name is Josh Zirkle. I'll be your play-by-play person for the duration of the contest. And joining me here in the booth is my best friend in the whole world, Alden Bleeker. And Alden, big game for Annapolis here. Playoff implications on the line as we are winding down Season 5 here. Madison playing for pride. But let's talk about the Navigators. Pretty high stakes for them if they can clinch a W tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, win and you're in. That's basically as simple as it gets. But they also have the possibility to clinch a first-round home game with a win, or should they lose, they also would be able to get a home win, to get a home bye in the first round with a San Antonio win and a Tacoma win and an Ottawa win. But they'd rather take destiny into their own hands here tonight.
And Alden, they're certainly capable of doing that with their high-powered offense led by the former two-way player, Randy Squarebush. Squarebush is now signed in Louisiana. He's going to be on the top 20 of the roster, starting at running back, all by his lonesome in Season 19 when the big leagues get going. But the minor leagues have the stage tonight, and we are underway here in Wisconsin. Annapolis will start with the ball, and they will do so on their own 22-yard line. And let's meet this Navigators offense. The tight end, Lachlan Martin. The wide receiving core, Ronnie Shanahan, Reggio De Niro, and Orain Darby. Joel Harleman is the fullback. Randy Squarebush is the halfback. And at under center, number 10, Gene Struthers, also returning from last season. And Struthers will start under center here on 1st and 10. So glad to have you with us here for the SFL Minor League. Short drop for Struthers, throws to the left side. That is complete. And Annapolis off to a great start, Alden.
Well, and it's something that I mentioned as I was covering the Annapolis game last week, is they're a team that's very reliant on getting into a rhythm. So we'll see how well Gene Struthers and Randy Squarebush have both been a big part of that rhythm all season long, and they'll be a big focus of the offense here today.
And Struthers more of a West Coast style quarterback, 73% completion percentage. That is tops in the SFL Minor League. And there's Randy Squarebush making his first carry of the game, and he is stymied at the line. And a third median coming up here for the Navigators.
Yeah, and that's a bit uncharacteristic for Randy Squarebush. I mean, he, all season long and basically throughout all his career, has done a great job running over people and doing well with the little bit of space that he's given.
Over 1,100 yards on the season for Squarebush. That, of course, tops in the minor league. Squarebush through the air this time, has the first down and steps out of bounds at the 32. And to stay on Squarebush for a second here, Alden, last season, 1,705 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns on the ground, 9.3 yards a carry, over 2,000 all-purpose yards, 23 all-purpose touchdowns, and those are all SFL minor league records. And now trips to the top of your screen. Struthers will be in the shotgun. Squarebush will get a break here on 1st and 10. Dime look for the Lynx. Struthers throwing the out route. That is caught. And falling to his tuchus is number 84. That's Reggio De Niro. 28 catches on the season for him coming into the game. There's his first one tonight.
Well, I think to your point, you know, as easy as it might be for some of the fans to maybe say that Randy Squarebush can be seen as a little one-dimensional because he's so great at running, you know, he has the ability to be something of a power receiver as well.
Absolutely. Joe Harleman in the game at fullback. And here's Squarebush again. Speaking of that receiving ability, Alden, and he'll get only a couple of yards before he is met by John Fowler. Let's meet the rest of this Madison defense. On the defensive front, Mike Mello, Anthony Bonar, and Jobu McSlim. The linebacking core, John Fowler, you just saw there, and Matthew Alvarado. And in the secondary, Chet Maverick, Ty White, Young Vaught, Joseph Lama, Orion Horace, and JT Jackson. Very long list of names by minor league standards for the Madison defense. Struthers throwing to his right this time, and that is caught by Harleman, his first touch of his career. And that is going to be another first down for Annapolis.
Well, doing a great job of making an impact for his team right away. Last week Annapolis were locked in a very sort of defense versus defense battle and struggled to move the ball on third down. They're showing a lot better promise in that regard here so far.
Excuse me, Harleman does not have a single rush. This his sixth game. Did have 2 receptions last week, though. Struthers throwing across the field. That is deflected and fortunately incomplete. Orion Horace got a fingertip on the ball, but could not bring it in. Second down.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays where just secondary coverage all the way down, you as a quarterback have to do your best to make the correct decision. And Gene Struthers putting the ball into a bit of a precarious situation there.
And throwing downfield, not the strong suit of Struthers. Only 1,200 passing yards on the season. That is 7th on the SFLm leaderboard. Squarebush in the backfield by himself. And he'll make another catch. Very busy out of the backfield so far. Squarebush fighting for yardage. He's going to step out of bounds at the 41. And a 3rd and short here coming up for Annapolis.
Well, and it's a trend that we keep talking about as analysts, right? These designed outward passes for running backs and even screen passes for running backs. It's because of these fast, powerful running backs like Randy Squarebush that it's becoming a thing, even at the major league level.
Absolutely, Alden. You look at this run-heavy formation. Set up with Squarebush in mind as he throws the defender to the ground and gets inside the 35-yard line before he's finally brought down by number 53. That's Gary Hounds. And Squarebush has this offense humming.
Yeah, boy, and it's almost as if he was getting revenge for getting stuffed on that first block. Man, just runs over his man, gets another block thrown for him. A great job by the offensive line at the top there, and he does a great job creating space for himself.
Annapolis, perhaps within the range of kicker Caleb Richards now. He hit one from 38 last week. Struthers throwing to Squarebush again. Squarebush with a lot of volume so far. He's going to take a loss here. That's John Fowler, who has also been busy so far in this very first series of the game.
Yeah, and it's a great job by Fowler to read the play here. As much as this connection between Gene Struthers and Randy Squarebush has worked out so well, you worry about it getting read by the defense and getting shut down.
As just happened there. Squarebush will take a rest, trips to the top of your screen. Struthers under pressure, tries to get away, and cannot, and down he goes. Thrown to the turf there on the logo. And a little bit of conversation there from Joe Boo McSlim, and he's got his first sack of the game.
Well, and as much of an offensive threat Gene Struthers has been this season, he's also taken a fair bit of pressure. 3rd in the league going into this game in terms of time sacked at 19. That'll be number 20 for him on the season.
And Struthers will now go back under center for 3rd and a country mile. Well outside field goal range here at this point. Let's see what they do. Play action. Struthers looks like he's going to take a shot. Under pressure again and thrown to the ground this time. A big-time sack by number 97, Taylor Comer. And Comer crushing an invisible beer can on his head. And just like that can, Annapolis has exhausted all of their time. They're going to punt.
Man, and Madison, you were talking about a bend don't break situation for Madison to start with. They pushed them behind the 50 here and held them to nothing. This is fantastic.
Tremendous pressure by that Madison front 4. And now finally they will get the ball at their own 14-yard line. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. And now Xander Moon will get under center here for the Madison offense from his own 14-yard line. Short drop, he's going to throw it on first down. Over the middle, deflected and tipped, and that was nearly picked off by a pair of defenders. Rachel Menner had the last word on that, but fell to the ground. 2nd and 10.
Well, and that was a particular strength that we saw from Annapolis's defense last week, being able to get these interceptions and getting them deep into their own territory were really how they were able to pull off such a heartbreaker of a win. And it's going to be something Madison's going to have to avoid here.
Tank Williams checks in at fullback in the offset eye. And Marcus Duncan is going to get stopped for a loss there. Going to be 3rd and 12. And a host of Annapolis defenders there. Matthew Alvarado among those in on the stop.
Yeah, and this is a great response by Annapolis to what was a pretty rough offensive drive, all things considered, to just show up on the other side of the ball and keep sending the pressure, doing the right thing to give their offense another chance.
And Duncan will take a rest. Spread look here. It was Moon going to throw it over the middle. Oh, nobody home. And that was Ron Haynes in what looked like quadruple coverage. And it's going to be a very brief 3-and-out for Madison.
Yeah, I think it really says something about the strength of the coverage there by Annapolis that he was so covered and he was still the best option.
He really was. Haynes, 13 yards per catch on the season. That is 8th best in the minor league for season 5. No pressure on the punt from Annapolis, as Pete Ellis punts it from his own end zone. And now number 12, that's Ronnie Shanahan, will get this into Madison territory as they start their second drive of the game. The SFL convention is coming to the Las Vegas Strip July 10th through 12th. HyperX Esports Arena at the Luxor will host the season kickoff featuring all 28 teams in action. Live commentary throughout the day, every game on the big screens, and your chance to be introduced to the world as a football star. Visit simulationfl.net/convention for more. Struthers in the shotgun here on 1st and 10. He's going to take a shot. Going down to left side, a big deflection there. Outstanding defense. That is number 23, Chet Maverick.
Yeah, and you have to give Chet Maverick a lot of credit here for just the athleticism to even stay with his man Orion Darby there. I mean, that was clearly a drawn up deep play that they had there. But Annapolis, as I was hoping to say here, this is sort of a continuation of the previous drive for them. That's the mentality that they have to have. This is another chance to pick up where they left off.
Yeah, not only that, Alden, it seems that we're seeing a revitalized Gene Struthers, who's thrown it deep quite a bit so far, and that throw was on the money as well. And Squarebush right on the money here. 10-5, touchdown. Annapolis on the board first.
Man, and last week I told Randy Squarebush to have mercy on the opposing team, but man, this is the kind of merciless run that he has really made his name from. Just finds the space, runs one over, takes another block up front, and he just uses his speed. You know, it's hard. Randy Squarebush is one of those players that's hard to classify. Is he a power runner? Is he a speed runner? The answer is yes.
It really is, yes. He does so much so well. And Joel Harlem would give him an outstanding block. You could see it there on the replay that helped spring him up the middle for a 47-yard run on a 2-play drive, almost as short as it gets. And now Caleb Richards will trot out for the first time for the extra point. Spot is down. The kick is up. And just like that, Annapolis leading 7-0 here in Madison.
Yeah, and Annapolis will really feel like they've deserved that touchdown, but they really, I think, says something about their mental character to go out there and get it.
And as you said at the open, Alden, if Annapolis wins, they are in the postseason and will host a playoff game. If they don't, they need some chips to fall outside of their hands. Madison, meanwhile, will take over an offense here at the 24-yard line. And Madison, they took care of business last week. Their first win of the season, beating Lexington 19-7. And a big part of that was Marcus Duncan, one of 3 SFL minor leaguers with over 200 touches on the season. And I think they've got to get him going, Alden, if they want to get back into this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially if Randy Squarebush is starting to do his thing, you've got to get that aspect of your game firing as well.
And there is Duncan, who gets a few yards up the middle and is met most rudely by the Annapolis offense. It'll be 2nd and 7. Annapolis defense, excuse me.
And I think it's even more important. You know, we've seen really tight coverage applied by Annapolis to the Madison passing core, and so I think all the more reason to get your run game going. You know, hopefully you set up some space for your passing game.
5 defensive backs on the field now for Annapolis. Moon throwing, finds Duncan out in the flat. Duncan breaks a tackle, runs over another defender, and only finally does he run out of football field. He looked like he could have kept going forever until he got to the showers. It gets a 3rd and 4 situation here for the Lynx.
Well, we talked about power receiving by Randy Squarebush for Annapolis, but that was a little bit of a power receiving there, you know, taking the ball, taking the space that he was given and just running over the potential tacklers.
Absolutely. Tank Williams back in the game at fullback. They're in the pro set. He's going to lead the way for Duncan, and Duncan is going to fight for yardage. They're going to give him the first down on the spot. And Madison, for the first time today, is moving the chains on offense.
Yeah, that was a really gritty job to get the ball across the line there. You know, you give up a 3 and out on your first drive of the game. It can be really easy to sort of get down, but they've really shown that they have the right mindset here.
Out of the heavy set, Duncan again, trying to find a hole. And we'll get 4 yards on the right side. Let's meet this Madison Lynx offense. At guard, Jay Warren. Ron Haynes is the tight end. The receiving core, Adrian Ellis, Charlie Baker, and Quag Mam. Tank Williams, the fullback. Marcus Duncan, returning from last season, is the halfback. And Xander Moon, number 1. It's been a while since we've seen a number 1 Moon on the field. But here we are, 2nd and 6. Moon throwing to the right side. Duncan again. Ooh. And Duncan cannot spin out of that vicious tackle from Gary Hounds. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, and it's just a great job sticking with it by Reggie Hounds, as you say. Oh man, and you know, the secondary coverage is really sort of, even in the middle and high part of the field, it's really tough passing for Madison here today.
Particularly strong indeed. In no small part because they have been consistently playing 5 defensive backs on the field, excuse me. Ooh. But Xander Moon gets that one into the breadbasket, and it's going to be another first down for Madison. Charlie Baker on the catch.
Yeah, well, just as you say it, I mean, a bit of patience and persistence paying off for Xander Moon there. Does a great job to get the ball up, and even though it's in double coverage, he just manages to float it in the perfect spot.
Twins to the top of your screen now. Moon, a lot of short drops from Moon today, and there's a big catch from Haynes. And that is oh so close to the line to gain. They're going to call it 2nd and inches, Alden.
Yeah, that's very close. I mean, if there wasn't better things to challenge later on in the game, I'd even say that's maybe worth a challenge. But they're doing a much better job moving the ball this drive compared to their previous one. I think that's the biggest thing for Madison and their fans to hold on to is just move the ball, chip away at yards, and good things will happen for you.
A nice mixture of rushing and passing on the drive, and here comes a run after a pass, and Duncan is going to get the first down. Let's meet this Annapolis Navigators defense. On the front, Wallace DeMoranville, Rocco Rossi, and Tundra Speed. Rachel Menner is the linebacker. Cornerbacks, Tyson Thorne and Dominic Matz. The safeties are Jerry D. Gond, Grant Hardaway, Dale McLean, and Nathan West. This is Marcus Duncan again, going right up the middle, and another nice gain on first down for Duncan. Going to be 2nd and 4.
Well, and we talk about the Annapolis, you know, their secondary coverage. Tundra Speed had 2 interceptions last week, and really was just such a core of their defensive performance last week. Tundra Speed will be looking to have another similar performance this week.
And now they will bring 7 in the box here on this 2nd and 4. Perhaps giving more attention to Duncan here. Moon with time to throw out to the sideline. And that is caught, and that is another first down for Madison. Adrian Ellis 38 catches on the season coming into the game, and there's one more for him right there.
Well, it's like we've been talking about, you know, it's just a little bit of patience. They're not really forcing anything. They're just taking the space and the passes that they're given, and as a result, they're much more flexible in terms of where they're able to move the ball.
Moon, a one-step drop, throw it over the middle. That's deflected and falling to the ground. Jerry D. Gond leaping. I thought he had that interception, but he'll take the incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a bit of a dangerous spot, and a good job by Gond to get to that. But that's really the first pass that has really looked at all precarious by Xander Moon this drive. You know, he really has been one of the core aspects of their offense so far this drive.
And Gond, another two-way player on this Annapolis team, playing in the secondary for Fort Worth. Duncan again, and he is going to make this 3rd and manageable. With Madison in field goal range, they've got 5 yards to get another first down.
Yeah, and oh man, it really feels like they have almost had their momentum slowed a little bit with how easy they've otherwise been able to move the ball here.
And I'll be curious to see what they do here, Alden. 5 yards. And Duncan's going to stand and block. And throwing the out route is Moon, and that is off the fingertips of Charlie Baker. And now this terrific Madison drive finally comes to an end. And here comes Alex Jackson for the field goal attempt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to turn their nose up at the 3 points, but oh man, that's really tough to take. If you're Madison, you really feel like you deserve a touchdown there with how efficient they were at moving the ball. Just a great job by the Annapolis secondary to deny 2 really big passes there. That's really the reason that they're being held to a field goal here.
Jackson from 42 yards is money in the bank. And Annapolis leads 7-3. You can see the bug in the top left of the screen. Well, you could. There it is right there. Ottawa facing Lincoln. And that game has just gotten underway. Lincoln, of course, was watching this game very intently. And that is going to be the end of the first quarter. Annapolis trying to take care of business and lock up home field for the first round. Can they do it? You're watching the SFL Minor League on SFL YouTube. Madison, Wisconsin. Josh Zirkle, Alden Bleeker in the booth. Cameron Irvine producing. The Annapolis Navigators looking to secure another playoff bid. If they win, they're in, and they've got home field in the first round. If they lose, there is the tiniest chance they will be eliminated from postseason contention. And on the offensive side, they'll take over here at the 26. Ronnie Shanahan on the return.
Yeah, as you say, the Annapolis coaching staff will have that Ottawa Lincoln game on on the sidelines, because should they happen to lose, they would then need a San Antonio win, a Tacoma win, and an Ottawa win. That would be the situation they need.
Squarebush needing a little better situation there. 3 yards to the left side. On 2nd and 7. And Alden, Squarebush has been obviously a marquee guy. Marcus Duncan, of course, on the Madison side, a guy that we don't talk about as much. And I would like to get your perspective, where some people have, maybe critical is the wrong word, but a little surprised that Squarebush, who had success at the major league level, is able to come back and tear it up in the minor leagues, obviously having another successful season. I would just like to get your thoughts on that.
Sure. Well, I think really what it is, he's more focused on improving as a player and really showing his increased versatility. You know, last season, or his last season in the minors, I should say, he spent a lot of time focusing on those rushing numbers and put up a lot of records as a result.
Huge sack there for Madison, and that's going to be a 3 and out for Annapolis. And we were just talking about how great their offense was. It's Justin Marland coming up the big sack there. Struthers can't get it away.
But I think you know, really the reason that Randy Squarebush has come back down and you know, done the things that he's done this season is really to show and gain experience. You know, being a bigger part of an offense rather than being their sole option.
And let's face it, all the competition in the minor league this season has been a lot tougher, a lot more players. We just ranted about how long the Madison Lynx defensive roster is. This is not the same season that Squarebush had a season ago. Obviously, his numbers indicate that, but I think, as you indicated, his performance and his goals are a little bit different as well. Xander Moon back on the field, starting with great field position here, almost at midfield. His own 48-yard line, his best starting field position of the contest so far. He's going to throw it on first down. Look for Marcus Duncan, but Duncan cannot escape. That's going to be a TFL. And there's 3 different Annapolis defenders in there. We'll call it 2nd and 11 here in the early stages of the second quarter.
And if it hasn't been the secondary coverage by Madison, it's really been them sending pressure up towards the top of the play. You know, you see it again there, the pass being completed, but really nowhere to go.
And that's tough with the screens passes to the short side of the field. The defenders have a little bit more time to close in. It looks like they're almost running the same play again. And there is Duncan, and he gets only a couple yards before diving out of bounds. It might have been the exact same play, 3rd and 9.
Yeah, just led the ball just ever so slightly enough that he had to, you know, sort of fall to the ground to hold on to it. And they're hoping he's going to be able to stay up, get some yards after catch there, I think.
Four wideouts now, and Ron Gaines to Moon's right. Moon has time, throwing it over the middle. Dangerous throw. Gaines was there, but the pass cannot get to him. A missed opportunity for Madison. And we have a penalty on the play, Alden.
Pass interference, number 27.
Wow.
Wow. That's going to be on Dale McClain.
That is absolutely massive for Madison. I was about to say, as the flag was thrown, it looked like someone was pushed here, and we'll see it here. Yeah, he was pushed away from the ball. Wow, that's a bit of a brain fart for the Annapolis defense, because otherwise the secondary was all in the correct positions that they needed to be. Just an improper use of hands costing them what would have otherwise been essentially a turnover. And now Madison is deep in Annapolis territory. What a huge swing for Madison.
A huge break for the Lynx indeed. And can Xander Moon capitalize? Throwing to his right this time. That's Tank Williams. And Tank Williams gets a little greeting there from Dominic Matz there on the Annapolis sideline. 2nd and 4.
And really, you know, the SFL, especially in the minor leagues, can be such a game of momentum, and who knows, this could be really sort of the launching pad that Madison needs back into this game.
So far, so good. Duncan up the middle. Duncan stopped behind the line. I think that was Rachel Menner that got there first. A huge TFL for Menner. And now 3rd and medium as Annapolis tries to keep Madison out of the end zone.
Well, keep them out. You know, that's exactly the name of the game. I mean, we saw something similar on the other side of the field before the direction swapped, of where Madison were able to get deep into Annapolis territory and the Annapolis defense clinched down.
Moon over the middle, deflected again off the shoulder pads of Dale McClain. And I don't think McClain saw it after he got his fingers on it. But that knockdown will take points off the board. Here comes Alex Jackson again.
Yeah, and oh man, it's another situation as Madison where you really feel like, man, we should have gotten 7 points here. I mean, you know, gifted essentially very good field position by the foul, and oh man, they have to settle for a field goal here. That's got to be tough to take.
But you got to give the Madison defense a lot of credit too, Alden. Stopping Annapolis, getting that 3 and out, and then got that great field position as you mentioned. Jackson converts from 43. That's his 2nd of the game. And that pulls Madison within a point of Annapolis. It's 7-6.
Yeah, it's exactly as you say. You know, you really have to get the opportunities in the first place. And that's exactly what Madison's going to be looking to do here. Get another quick turnover, hopefully get one more opportunity to score before the half.
Madison, who is winless heading into last week. They took care of Lexington in what was a low-scoring game, 19-7. They are eliminated from postseason contention. This will be their last game of Season 5. Either way, they're looking to go out on a high note. And it's Shanahan for Annapolis getting this out to the 21. Let's see if Gene Struthers can atone for his offense's 3 and out in their last series. Struthers only 4 passing touchdowns on the season. That is tied for 7th. You could do the math there. Squarebush up the middle. Ooh. Very close to the line to gain before finally being brought down by young Vaught. It'll be 2nd and inches. You see the numbers there already on Squarebush.
Yeah, and this play in particular was almost identical to the play that we saw for Annapolis' first touchdown, where Madison had to give up sort of a heartbreaker field goal, and then Randy Squarebush just took the ball in his hands and went for yard essentially. But oh man, it's a bit of a scary moment for the Madison defense there.
Joel Harleman back in the game at fullback and lead the way for Squarebush here. Big block there. Squarebush free, has a first down, out past the 40, and then finally down at the 41. Young Vaught and Ty White combining to make the stop there, but it's a first down for Annapolis.
Well, and we were talking earlier in this game about how Randy Squarebush, it's so hard to classify him as a power runner or a speed runner, and there you see exactly what we're talking about. Uses his speed to get on the outside on the toss and has to have 2 men bring him down.
Quads to the top of the screen, and Struthers looking for, it looked like Reggie De Niro there, but Matthew Alvarado had other plans. 2nd and 10.
And this is a really good play by Madison. He's watching the eyes of Struthers the entire time and just realizes that all he has to do is lurk there in the middle of the field, gets his hand up and puts his body in the way, putting his body on the line to make that swat.
I love watching linebackers play pass coverage. I feel like
Absolutely.
If you can do that well, that only increases your stock for all the big league clubs that are watching and contemplating their draft picks. And everybody always seems to have room for one more linebacker. Bunch set here to the bottom of your screen. Squarebush on the pitch. Dragged down from behind. And I think that's Alvarado again coming in on the stop. You see the numbers there, 80 yards, the 1 touchdown. 47 of those 80 yards came on that touchdown run.
And it's something that we see with Randy Squarebush, that defenses really sort of react to him rather than being able to be proactive. I think that's really what his combination of power and speed enables him to do.
Struthers has time, going over the middle, and that is caught. A huge catch. Fresh set of downs and a fallen official on the field. And that is number 83, Curtis Walker. One of the backup wide receivers getting a big catch.
Well, and it's a great job by just completely confusing the coverage there. Just the way that he ran the route made his mark step the other way, and that opened up all the space that he needed to get up into the air and grab that ball. It's a great job drawing up and executing that passing play by Annapolis.
Now Annapolis leading by just a point, already in field goal range. Squarebush looked like he was going to be down for a loss. Manages to drag Ty White. White saying, thanks to the free ride, buddy. 3 yards for Squarebush, 2nd and 7. Squarebush in the backfield by himself. 2 tight ends. To Struthers left. A deep drop here. Unleashing the drag and touchdown. Lachlan Martin coming through in the end zone.
And it's the 1-2 punching, the 1-2 punch of this passing offense. Gene Struthers has struggled a little bit to pass, but you see the great pass there to his man on the long ball, and another long ball there using to get the touchdown. Man, using the long ball has really been something that Gene Struthers has struggled with all season, but you see him using it there to perfection.
Absolutely. The 5th touchdown pass of the season for Struthers. And as Lachlan Martin's 2nd touchdown reception of this same season. Richards will boot the extra point. And it's still a 1-score lead for Annapolis, but it's the biggest you can get, 14-6. How about a read? The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distribution. Live and in-person championship weekends, rookie drafts, and community events are in the works. Visit raredrop.co for more information and follow Rare Drop Sports on Twitch at twitch.tv/rdsports. And there's a big hit for you on special teams. Madison. I know it's politically incorrect to say getting your bell rung nowadays, but that's exactly what happened to Quag Mam. And to a greater extent, this Madison Lynx team, as now they trail by 8 with about 4.5 to play here in the first half. Starting at their own 27, Xander Moon under center. 5 defensive backs on the field for Annapolis. Duncan will get maybe a couple yards before he's shoved out of bounds. No, they're going to spot him for a loss. That's interesting. 2nd and 11. What'd you think of that, Alden?
Tough sledding here for Madison. I mean, that's really the big benefit of the pressure that Annapolis is using is it makes it so tough for short passes and runs to really go anywhere, because all of a sudden you got 2, 3, 4 players all up in your face.
Madison going to bring a few players into Annapolis's face, going heavy set, but Moon looks to throw, and now Duncan on the screen pass. Can't get away. Annapolis hasn't quartered at the line of scrimmage. And now it's going to be a 3rd and long, and Marcus Duncan beside himself right now.
Yeah, and you see again there happening what we were just talking about. You know, the pressure comes up towards the top of the play, and the space to run after the catch never really develops. So it's so tough. It almost feels like it forces you to go for medium or longer passes.
Short drop for Moon on 3rd and 10 over the middle. That is caught, and that is very close to the sticks. They're going to give him a first down there. Madison moving the chains in a big way. Quag Mam with a big catch.
Yeah, and oh man, that pump fake really being bid on by basically the entirety of the Annapolis defense, and they're challenging here.
And I think that's a good challenge, at least from what we saw in live action.
Yeah, it was very close.
I'll tell you all, and I have a tough time looking at any of these spots. I think sometimes he didn't make it when he did, and vice versa.
That looks like he went over to me.
I agree with you. I think that there's about as good a look as we're going to get on it. And we'll see if Berto Demora comes through on this challenge.
After review, the call on the field is
It's a battle with yourself in many ways. And the ruling on the field has been overturned.
Wow.
That will negate the first down.
Particularly aggressive use of the challenge flag by the Annapolis coach, but man, it stops Madison on 4th and inches. That is a great eye by coach on the sidelines there.
And a challenge well spent, if we could get critical about the use of some of the challenges that we've seen in this game. Pressure, but Madison gets the punt away. And Shanahan dragged down to the 30-yard line. Just because it's the SF. Go ahead, Alden. Excuse me.
Oh, no. All I was going to say is, you know, we said there was going to be something better to challenge later in the game. There it was.
And there it was indeed. The SFL, just because it's the SFL offseason doesn't mean content creators aren't still pumping out great content around the league. SFL Nights with AJ Stryker. Say it with your chest. Netma. And, of course, the show all about the minors' fights and insights. And here's an insight for you right there. Randy Squarebush breaking tackles, and he is gonzo. 70 yards. You just got Squarebushed.
You just got Squarebushed indeed. I mean, that's really how else can you describe these sorts of runs? I mean, it looked like, and we'll see it on replay here, it looked like there was going to be nowhere for him to go. Look, 69 for Madison. He breaks 2 tackles that are literally hanging around his ankles, and he leaves so much space for himself that there's nothing but green grass and painted end zone in front of him. My goodness, Randy Squarebush, I know I keep saying this, but have some mercy.
Just a remarkable piece of running. You thought he was dead at the line, but no. You thought the secondary had it, but no. Just a human story right there, just encapsulated in that single run. 70 yards, a one-play drive. And the extra point from Caleb Richards is good. And Annapolis doing what they do. And that is mowing down the opposition. After the touchdown from number 21, it's 21-6. I think I need a cigarette after that run. Man, that was just remarkable. He's been doing it all season. But then when you watch it live, especially when you're calling the game, it's just like, wow. Madison will get out here to the 24. 3:04 to play here in the first half.
Yeah, well, it's as we were talking about, you know, earlier in this game, you know, what is Randy Squarebush doing here in the lower leagues at the SFLm? I think you saw just there really perfecting his explosiveness that is going to be the key to his success for the rest of his career, really turning it into an art form.
Absolutely, and this will be his swan song, if you will, making the top 20 of the Louisiana Revolution. That will end his two-way status, effective at the end of the season. Marcus Duncan, meanwhile, one of the many running backs we expect to get drafted before the start of the season 19. Takes that screen pass for a loss, 2nd and 11. Tank Williams back in the game at fullback. We've seen this pro set a couple times for Madison tonight. And both the backs will stay in to block. Moon is throwing to the sideline. And it's Charlie Baker. And that is Baker's second catch of the night.
Yeah, and this is a good drive by Madison after that tough challenge to overturn their first down. You know, sometimes really all you can do when you're getting pressured both up front and in the secondary, really all you can do is just try to find a rhythm any way you can, and that's what they've been trying to do here.
Trips to the top of your screen. Moon with time to throw, going over the middle again, and that is nearly the first interception of the game. But Dominic Matz could not come up with it. And that will be another punt situation as we see Pete Ellis trotting onto the field for Madison.
Yeah, that was a throwback to the days of no helmets and a strong national rail system, just tipped up into the air, and really seemed like anyone on the field would have been eligible to grab it there.
That would be the second 3 and out of the game for the Madison offense. No pressure on the punt. Ellis gets it away. Shanahan down at the 39. And Gene Struthers will have 2 minutes and change to work some magic here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, it's you know, we've talked about how explosive this offense can be. Not only Randy Squarebush, but you know, Gene Struthers on the occasions where he has that deep ball online can very easily allow his receivers to make these explosive runs as well.
Annapolis has authored a 1-play drive and a 2-play drive tonight. And Squarebush trying to for another of the 1-play variety right there. Does get the first down as we hit the 2-minute warning. It's the Randy Squarebush Show here in Madison. You're watching the SFL Minor League. You're on SFL YouTube. Madison, Wisconsin for SFL Minor League action here in Week 8. Josh Zirkle, Alden Bleeker in the booth. Cameron Irvine producing. The Madison Lynx in their season finale, they are done either way. Annapolis, meanwhile, can lock up a home playoff game if they win here on the road tonight. And Struthers throwing to Joel Harleman, and Harleman's going to get a couple yards before he gets out of bounds. 2nd and 5, Alden.
Yeah, and a strong tackle on the sideline there to bring him down. My goodness.
Harleman, as we mentioned, does not have a single rush all season, but he has made some catches, had 2 last week. And I believe that is his 2nd tonight. But now all the running backs head to the sideline, and we'll let the wide receivers play here for a little bit. And that is picked off. Ty White rips it out of the hands of Reggio De Niro, and Madison gets what they needed the most, a turnover.
Well, it took a minute for you to process that there was an interception, because he was exactly in the spot where you would have expected Reggio De Niro to be. That was just such a position-based interception for Madison. What a fantastic job on defense.
Ty White, 6'2", 195, making a tremendous play to give his team a shot and give Xander Moon a chance to find the end zone with less than a minute and a half. And he's off to a great start so far, completing a pass. That's Adrian Ellis. We've not called Adrian Ellis's name very often tonight, but they makes a catch there, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and it's a scenario like we say, when the defense is so tough, you just got to find the yards where you can. You can't be picky, you can't be a perfectionist, you can't really afford to let a perfect be the enemy of good, and a good drive is what Madison is going for here, not a perfect one.
Tank Williams in the game. Interesting decision for a 2-minute drill. It's Marcus Duncan leveled behind the line, and Madison is going to hurry up. Minute 10 remaining here in the first half. Moon taking his time at the line. Will hand off to Duncan again. And I'm a little surprised that as much as we've seen Xander Moon throwing the ball today, Alden, that they're not being more aggressive here.
Yeah, and I'm also surprised we're seeing no timeouts to realign. I guess they want to use their timeouts on defense, but I think it makes more sense, as you say, to realign into a passing formation.
And Annapolis not calling timeout either. And they have a chance to put some more points back on the board.
This is interesting clock management, to put it politely.
And so Madison will let this bleed as long as they can. And that will leave Annapolis with maybe 15 seconds to probably just run the clock out and get into the locker room for the first half. Shanahan to the 21, 15 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I would be very surprised, as you say, if Annapolis don't just kneel it out. It's possible they try to run up the score, but I think it makes much more sense to just do the safe thing and hold on to the ball here.
Although with that guy in the backfield, why not take a shot? And he's done it before.
Well, looks like they're going to try.
Struthers with a deep drop. They're going to try and get something here. And that's intercepted again. Struthers' second interception, as many passes. And Madison's going to get this into field goal range.
Yeah.
That's a Ryan Horace with an exceptional return on the INT.
And the football gods saw the decision by Annapolis to try to go for it, to try to run up the score, and they were like, no, you don't. And Madison, just the stars seemingly aligning to get them an interception in such fantastic range. They're gonna score before the end of the half here.
Yeah, they're not going to waste any time. Alex Jackson going right out for the field goal. This will be from 47 yards. And Jackson's hit 2 from outside 40 yards already tonight. Spot is down, kick is up. And that is good with plenty of leg, 47 yards. And now it's 21-9, a 12-point lead for the Navigators.
I still don't quite know how that interception happened, but man, what a fantastic job by Madison to get something there. I mean, that is going to be so beneficial for them. I really do think that entirely changes the tone of the halftime discussion for them.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime you can get points in the last minute of a game, no matter what the margin is, it's always going to make you feel good. And this presumably will be the last play of the first half as we watch the ball sail through the air into the hands of Ronnie Shanahan. He gets out to the 25, and that will do it. Annapolis well on their way to locking up home field in the first round of the playoffs. These teams are going to take a break. Alden, you and I are going to keep right on going. Annapolis 21, Madison 9. Alden Bleeker, your thoughts on the first half?
Oh man, I mean, it's as you say, the Randy Squarebush hour. He really has been a menace for Madison to deal with. But I think really the understated story of the first half, and perhaps what we could even see become the dark horse story of this game, is that Madison have not given up. They've been put in bad situations where there have been turnovers, 3 and outs, what have you, where they've gone and gotten the ball back, and good things have happened for them. So this game is not a blowout. It's 21-9. This is still a very winnable game for Madison, and I think Annapolis have to be very cognizant of the fact that this is still a winnable game by Madison, or else they like Icarus could fly too close to the sun.
I would have to agree with all that, Alden. I think Madison, especially, playing very well on defense. The concerns for me, Marcus Duncan only 22 yards in the first half. You've got to find something that gets him going.
Yeah,
but Madison's defense has been playing outstanding. I was just going to say the 2 turnovers there in the second quarter, but they've been getting a lot of pressure on Gene Struthers as well.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, as much as their offense has struggled in some areas, they've really done a great job, relatively speaking, of controlling Gene Struthers and Randy Squarebush relative to what those 2 men are capable of doing normally.
And as we continue through the first half highlights, one other thing you want to mention here is that Annapolis and Randy Squarebush, this is their swan song as well, at least in terms of the regular season. A lot of other action happening around the SFL Ottawa and Lincoln. You can see the score in the bug there. Ottawa leading 14-0 in that game. Coming up later tonight, Tacoma facing Lexington. That is a 9:15 p.m. Eastern start. And then undefeated San Jose is going to face Albuquerque. And that game kicks off at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. San Jose looking to wrap up an undefeated regular season. A lot of outstanding players on that squad as well. They've had the 1 seed locked up for some time. Madison, 12 points in the hole. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, fortunately for them. So why don't we get this party started? Caleb Richards set to kick off. And here we go. And out to the 26, and that is where Madison will start. Here's Quag Mam. Mam having a nice season so far. 4 catches last week. Looking to improve upon that here tonight.
Well, and we talked about how Madison have the potential of a comeback. I think in a tough game, you really have to look at all your positives, and starting with the ball is a huge positive for Madison this half. Absolutely.
And a big deflection there, number 53, Gary Hounds. Gary Hounds always seems to get his name called a disproportionate amount in this game, but well-deserved there. Very nice deflection.
Yeah, and you see even at the top of the play there, Annapolis doing a great job setting up the pressure, forcing an even quicker decision than would normally be necessary by Xander Moon there.
And Moon, 1,641 passing yards coming into the game, but 17 interceptions. But only 1 last week. Big part of their success there. Duncan around the left side this time. He'll get a couple before being dragged down. And it has been a rough first half for Marcus Duncan, and the roughness seems to continue here in the second half.
Yeah, we really talk about, with the offense of Madison, that's really what they need to do is take the things that have been hard for them and find what else is opening up.
Trips to the bottom of your screen. Moon over the middle, deflected again. And just nowhere to go with the football. Tyson Thorne among those in on the coverage.
Because as we see there, that's what can happen when you try to force things that should be working but aren't on a football field. When you have the pressure coming at you and when you're all covered in the secondary, you just gotta find what you can make work, and that's really been one of Madison's struggles here.
Yeah, tough start to the second half from Madison to 3 and out. Pete Ellis will punt this away. Shanahan waits for it on his own 33. And they're going to spot him at the 36. As Gene Struthers and company are set to head back out on the field. And if you're Annapolis, there's almost zero reason to take any chances at all.
Yeah, I almost even think just start trying to milk the clock now.
Squarebush around the left side. Has a convoy. Big block there on the left side. And see you later. Touchdown. Number 3, Randy Squarebush.
Wow. Well, I said Annapolis might start milking the clock. I believe Randy Squarebush misheard me and thinks I said milk the scoreboard because my goodness, just follows his block to the outside here, gets another great block up there at the top. And, you know, Randy Squarebush, you know, is he human? Is he a football playing alien? Just using that unique combination of power and speed to maximum effect once again there.
His second touchdown of the game from the opposite side of the field. From 60. I have 63 yards on that. I was told there would be no math. The extra point is good. And Caleb Richards makes it a 28-9 game. Esports TV is partnered with the SFL to bring sim football to millions of homes over the next 2 years. ESTV is the world's first 24/7 live, linear, and video-on-demand esports channel available everywhere through your smart TV, on your phone, through Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. Visit estv.co to learn more. And they're going to be carrying quite a few SFL Big League games when season 19 gets underway here in just about a month's time. Madison offense back in action here, starting from their own 28-yard line. Xander Moon under center. Tank Williams back in the game at fullback. And Duncan just nowhere to go. Rachel Menner shutting that down right at the line. Outstanding play by the outside linebacker, and it's 2nd and 10.
And that's really what Annapolis's defense has done so well all game, is make normal play impossible for Madison. You know, they've really sort of forced Madison to MacGyver their way through this game to try to piece together a coherent offense and defense.
Moon, short drop, throwing over the middle there. That is caught. And a much-needed first down for the Madison offense. Charlie Baker coming through again. A lot of big catches from Baker so far in this game.
Yeah, and this is just really one of those pressure valve passes, right? You know, you see the secondary all occupied in the middle and the back of the field. He's just able to slip through, get into a little bit of space, and have enough yards after catch to get across the line.
And Madison looking to get Duncan going here, going back to the heavy set. Ron Gaines on the right side. And Duncan just nowhere to go.
Man.
And this, to me, this is more impressive than what Squarebush is doing. They're taking Marcus Duncan, who might be the second best running back in this league, and they have just shut him down.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking the same thing. I really think it's the defense of Annapolis that's given them so much of a lead. Otherwise, I think it would be much closer.
Deep drop here from Moon. Unleashing the Dragon, and there's a big catch. Ron Gaines is going to get to the end zone, and Madison has their first touchdown of the game.
Wow. And Madison, knowing that they're out of this game, but fighting like it's still that, like they still have the chance. Ron Haynes just, man, blows through the coverage here. You see, gets past this push block and, oh man, gets up into the air, breaks this one tackle, and he realizes that there's nobody on God's green earth that can stop him. He's gone.
Ron Haynes, 13 yards per catch this season. Got a lot more than 13 on that, including 6 points. And Haynes is going to pull his team back within 12, pending this extra point from Alex Jackson. Spot is down, kick is up. And excuse me, that is an 8-point margin now. Madison, no, it's 12. Man, what is going on with me in the math tonight? 28 to 16. Beg your pardon, folks.
Well, it's as I was just saying, you know, it really, I think, showcases how strong the Annapolis defense has been, that this is not closer, because Madison's offense is actually showing quite a bit of firepower here this game.
And now Ronnie Shanahan, from out of the shadow of his own goalpost, he's brought down at the 23. Very nice tackle there by Victor Williamson. And Shanahan, hey, you got to stay on the field, buddy. You got to play some offense now. Now Gene Struthers watched his lead diminish while he was on the sideline. We'll hand it to his not-so-secret weapon, Randy Squarebush. And Squarebush corralled behind the line. And that's John Fowler once again. You see the numbers there on Squarebush, but John Fowler determined to stop him right then and there. Second and 11.
And this could really be the fulcrum point that Madison used to leverage things back in their favor here. If they can shut them down, get a 3 and out, that would be so huge.
Absolutely. A lot of ball game left here in Madison. Struthers under pressure. Struthers fights off a tackle, throwing to the sideline, and it's caught. A big first down. Struthers turning that play into chicken salad, and a huge catch there by Lachlan Martin.
Yeah, I mean, Gene Struthers has been under pressure all night long. You know, if Ty Patak and Jordan Sipe were not playing games tonight, he would be now the new league leader for sacks. But he just does a great job of responding to pressure, not giving up on the play, and just using his space in the sack. My goodness.
Tremendous play by Struthers. Under pressure again, and this time he cannot get away. And this time it's number 55, Mike Mello, who's anything but mellow after celebrating that sack, and for good reason. Second and 13.
It really, Madison have got to do a good job of responding to that play by Annapolis. They can't give up or let themselves get complacent.
Trips to the top of your screen. Struthers in the shotgun now. Just a 3-man rush. And Struthers hit again, but Ray Darby making the catch and running to the 10-5 touchdown. A huge throw from Gene Struthers as he was blasted in his own backfield, and Ray Darby does the rest.
Man, and if we keep talking about how good this Madison defense is, and with good reason, but it really just seems like this Annapolis offense can do no wrong. Rain Darby doing a fantastic job running what looks like a post route here, just uses the diagonal portion to blow past his man, and he had just enough space. It looked like he was going to be brought down, but just using his speed to maintain that gap.
And showing exceptional ball control as well. Darby, his second touchdown catch of the season. Had 40 catches coming into the week. None of them have been as big as that one. Helping Annapolis pull away here. On their way, looking to clinch home field in the first round of the playoffs. It's 35-16.
Yeah, Annapolis well on track, but it's as we've been saying, you know, it's one thing to build up a lead, it's a whole other to maintain it.
Navigators, of course, 4-3 on the season in what has been a hotly competitive SFLm here in Season 5. And man, we'll take this from his own 5. Out to the 25. The SFL's minor league, SFLm, is how you, the viewers, can get involved in the action. Create a player today to begin your professional football journey through our website at simulationfl.net. And check out this season's class of over 100 rookies getting called up to the pros during the next rookie draft live next weekend on SFL YouTube. The SFL, where the viewers are the superstars. And Marcus Duncan is finally going to get loose out to the 45. And my goodness, I thought Marcus Duncan was going to break that one and go all the way to the his.
I thought so too, man, and you really see how efficient Annapolis have been at shutting him down. You see 3.3 yards the average, and he went well beyond 3.3 there. I think he's going to be very pleased with that run, and I think perhaps more importantly, it's going to be a confidence thing that Marcus Duncan now perhaps believes he can get those big runs off.
And now he gets a little reinforcement here in the heavy set. Moon throwing to Duncan, and Duncan corralled once again. This time, it's Dominic Matz. We've called his name a few times tonight. Matz coming up with a big tackle there. Officially no gain. It'll be 2nd and 10. Moon, short drop. That is caught again. Ron Haynes. And Haynes already has a touchdown tonight, looking to get a first down there. Be stopped just short, 3rd and 1.
Well, Madison are down by 3 scores, but I think they're doing the correct thing here of not focusing on that and trying to do the right thing, one down at a time and one drive at a time. You know, you're starting to see them pick up a little bit of momentum here.
Duncan again, the guard pulling. That's going to be a first down. And Madison, as you mentioned, Alden, incrementally gaining momentum here. And what is still early in the second half.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the thing for Madison. You know, if you're not going to be able to be explosive, then pick up those yards however you can.
And Duncan, again, staggering backwards for extra yards after the hit from Rachel Menner. And it's a nice gain on first down, 2nd and 5. Moon in the shotgun. Both backs in to block. The throw is on the money, but Adrian Ellis got out of bounds before he could turn upfield.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like he had enough space on the sideline there. I mean, a great job running the route there, but just not quite, ran at the sideline with a little too much speed, not quite able to get that turn and get his feet turned in the other direction.
An update from Lincoln, Ottawa taking care of business over there. It's 28-7 in the 3rd quarter. As Xander Moon looking to narrow the gap here. Duncan making the catch behind the line and then corralled by Tyson Thorne after a gain of just a couple yards. 2nd and 8. Clock continues to run. Now less than 4 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, while Ottawa taking care of business, as you say, should Madison be able to pull off the comeback here, the situation would then be Annapolis would need a San Antonio win, a Tacoma win, and an Ottawa win. So things really going Annapolis' way, all things considered.
Moon with time, throwing to the out route there. Another big catch from Adrian Ellis. And Ellis getting a little bit busier here in the second half. It's 1st and goal.
Yeah, and a great job. He's really been having a bit of a quiet game this game, but has very quietly been a big part of this passing offense's recent success here, nonetheless.
Just 10 yards to go for what would be their second touchdown of the game. Duncan up the middle.
Oh,
Duncan right inside the goal line. I thought he had it. They're going to spot him just short.
I thought he had it too. That was so close. Are we going to see a challenge here? I think that might be worth challenging even with how close it was.
Well, you could stop the clock too. And if you keep the timeout, that's just a bonus. Those timeouts, though, obviously more precious here in the second half. And I think Moon's just going to mosey up there and run another play. You still have second down and third down to punch it in. You only need one play, though. And that's going to be Zane Beard that punches it in for the touchdown.
Well, and this is how many times have we said it for Madison this game, that patience and persistence and a willingness to find the thing that is working, that really is their key to success. And that's exactly what you see there. Not trying to get too creative and risking an interception at the goal line. And they just get the ball in. Nothing flashy, but nothing flashy needed.
And a nice long drive to give that Madison defense some rest as well. And the way they've been running after Gene Struthers, that is going to be appreciated. The extra point is up and good. And once again, the margin is 12. Annapolis leading 35-23.
It's still an uphill climb for Madison, but it's definitely doable, especially if they get a stop here on defense.
It does put a little pressure on that Annapolis offense to move the chains and maybe even perform a prolonged drive of their own. They've had so many quick strike plays. Do they want to try and sit on the ball here a little bit? Shanahan is going to get stopped at the 22. And that is where we will pick up the Randy Squarebush show. You see Shanahan grabbing this side. We'll keep you apprised of that and see if he returns to the game.
Yeah, and it's as you say. I mean, Annapolis have been so explosive. I mean, their idea of running the clock has been go down the field and score. You know, so maybe we do see a little more conventional approach here.
Squarebush stop behind the line. That's a huge stop for 17. Joe Boo McSlim.
Well, that statistic that just popped up on your screen, I think really says it all. Randy Squarebush is averaging 17.5 yards per carry. He's averaging a first down and a half and some change per carry. What an explosive runner Randy Squarebush is.
2nd and 12, Squarebush again. And this time John Fowler will bring him down at the 26-yard line. And now a 3rd and medium for Annapolis. This is not an automatic here, Alden.
It certainly isn't, and it's a tough part of the field to be giving up a 4th down if they're not able to move the ball at all, and that put Madison in great field position.
Struthers in the shotgun, rushes up, and that is deflected, and that is going to be a 3 and out. Madison defense gets off the field after the long drive for the Madison offense.
I mean, this is so important for Madison. Their defense gets what is arguably the most important stop of the game. And now it's the two keys for Madison are number 1, ball security, number 2, ball movement. And they're going to get the ball in fantastic field position here.
They sure are. Matthew Alvarado came up with that pass deflection to stop Annapolis on 3rd down. No pressure on the punt. Pete Ellis gets it away. Both punters in this game need Pete Ellis, by the way. Some of you will be amused by that. I am one of those people. Quag Mam gets it out to the 44. And as you mentioned, Alden, there'll be a short field for the Madison offense.
Yeah, that really is So that's almost as big as getting the ball back, is the fact that they're starting near the 50.
Madison trailing by 12. Just over a minute to play here in the third quarter. Moon looking to throw on first down. Duncan has it. And had a little bit of a lane before the Annapolis defense collapsed. Rachel Menner and Tyson Thorne in on the stop, 2nd and 5. And this Annapolis defense getting aggressive, playing press coverage on the receivers. Short drop for Moon. And Moon is going to run it.
Wow.
Moon has the first down, but boy, does he take a punishment for it. And that was a big hit. Well, it looked like Taylor Colmer, number 97. But Moon hops right back up and heads back to the huddle. Big first down for Moon and the Lynx.
Well, Xander Moon is technically leading the league in rushing yards by quarterbacks at 9, so that's something that he can bust out of his back pocket when he needs to.
That's what I call a waxing gibbous. Moon's going to lob this over, intended for, that's Tank Williams, the fullback, nowhere to go. Tundra Speed in on the coverage. Rachel Menner there to talk a little smack as well. 2nd and 10.
Well, and it was Tundra Speed last week that made such an impact deep in Annapolis territory for Annapolis. If you're a Madison fan or a Madison coach, you're certainly going to be hoping that you don't see history repeat itself here on that front.
Bunch formation to the top of your screen at 2nd and 10. Moon, play action. Has time, throws it over the middle. And that is man. We're going the wrong direction there a little bit. May I have some 4s in chat, please? Madison looking to pull off the upset and end their season on a high note. Annapolis looking to continue their season in their own digs. You're watching the SFL Minor League. You're on SFL YouTube. Minor League action for Madison, Wisconsin. Josh Circle, Alden Bleecher in the booth. Cameron Irvine in the truck. Xander Moon on the field. Going to Ron Haynes. Ron Haynes on the sideline. That's a fresh set of downs for the Lynx. Trailing by 12. Randy Squarebush has been all that and a bag of chips. Over 200 yards rushing. I have him for 2 touchdowns. I thought he had 3. Lachlan Martin.
I believe he does.
And Orain Darby also found the end zone. And that would give us 5. If Squarebush had 3, I apologize. I can't read my own writing. Madison, though, just got a touchdown from Zane Beard, filling in for Marcus Duncan. And there's an interception. Annapolis looking to take the starch out of this game in a hurry. And that is a huge pick by Jerry D. Gahn.
Oh, curse this commentator's curse of mine. I've got to learn how to use it for good, because as I was just saying, Tundra Speed really putting up a pair of heartbreaking deep in their own territory interceptions for Annapolis last week. And oh man, that's exactly what you saw there. Really, Annapolis taking the air out of that Madison drive there.
And that is the first time Madison has turned the ball over in this game. Struthers and the offense looking to capitalize. That's Harleman catching the screen pass, and Harleman's going to get stopped behind the line. But the clock continues to run here in the fourth quarter. Annapolis with a win will not only qualify for the playoffs, but they will secure home field in the first round. Squarebush run the right side, makes a tackler miss. It was finally brought down due to the buddy system. That's a great way to tackle Randy Squarebush. It's 3rd and 7.
Seems like the only way to tackle him here today.
Absolutely. Squarebush and Harleman both in the backfield for Struthers, who's in the shotgun. Play action. And Struthers goes down in a heap. And I think that is Mike Mello coming up with a big sack there. And the Madison defense gets off the field again, even after the turnover.
I mean, it feels like something out of a football movie, doesn't it? You know, Madison getting another opportunity after their best one seemingly of the game went up in smoke. It does feel like something out of a movie.
Another chance here for Madison. Mam on his own side of the field will get into Annapolis territory. And Zanderman will start this drive from the Annapolis 48-yard line with just under 9 minutes to play here in regulation. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Speaking of movies, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. Visit apmmusic.com for more. Ooh. And as we've said already, Alden, this is the story of the game here. Marcus Duncan getting absolutely nowhere. Rocco Rossi coming up with a stop there. But this Annapolis defense at large has done a great job of neutralizing Madison's weapon, Marcus Duncan.
And yeah, exactly. And I think it really makes it all the more remarkable and praiseworthy how well Madison have played here and how fantastic it is that they've gotten almost 30 points on the board.
And Duncan looked like he had a seal for just a moment, and then is finally corralled by Tundra Speed. One of the more fascinating names in the SFL minor league. It's Speed acting very efficient there. 3rd and 6. Tundra Speed, 6'4", 251, joined the league in week 3. Looks like he has got up to speed. The big catch there, Charlie Baker is going to wrestle out of bounds to get a Madison first down, and that'll stop the clock with 7:52 to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like we say, you know, Marcus Duncan has really struggled to run here, but Madison have been successful when they don't try to force that option, or even when they're struggling on passing, you know, when they don't force the option that should be working and find the option that is working. That's where they've been successful tonight.
Short drop for Moon. We'll find Tank Williams on the sideline, and Williams will get out of bounds after a gain of just 2. We are in field goal range here, Alden, but I think we could forget about the field goals at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, this is 4-down territory because in Annapolis, as prone as they are to one-play touchdowns, I think they would immediately go to running out the clock here.
Duncan and Williams both in the backfield. Duncan gets the call. And once again, Duncan nowhere to go. Rachel Menner clogging up the gap. It's now 3rd and long for Madison.
Yeah, oh man, you know, we say this is 4-down territory, but this is a tough situation for Madison to be in here. They would certainly like to get it in 3 here.
And now a bunch set for Madison, top of your screen. Annapolis rolls the coverage over. A 4-man rush gets home. And down goes Xander Moon. Justin Marland, who's made plenty of big plays behind the line so far, makes a big one there with a sack.
Oh man, and that's so it's a good job by the offensive line to even get him an opportunity to sit in the pocket here. I don't even know if this is field goal range. Yeah, they're going to have to punt it here. That's devastating for Madison.
Pete Ellis will punt it away. And this has a chance to be a beaut. And no, it'll roll into the end zone for a touchback. Monday, June 20th, right here on SFL YouTube. A big night for rookies and veteran players alike. First at 7 p.m. Eastern, the SFL All-Stars will take the field to give one last nod to the best players from Season 18 before both SFLm semifinals air at 9 p.m. Eastern. You won't want to miss this doubleheader next Monday, June 20th, right here on SFL YouTube. So we have the All-Star game and then both semifinals. So you could choose the second half of your doubleheader. How great is that? Find me another football league that lets you choose the second half of your doubleheader.
Let alone one that you're a player in, for sure.
Absolutely. You're going to be in that All-Star game, aren't you, Alden?
Both I and Olivia Bleeker made the All-Star roster. It's one of our first times. I forget which.
Outstanding. Congratulations to you, sir. And congratulations to Joe Boo McSlim, who has a timeshare set up in that Annapolis backfield, knocking the ball away from Struthers there, 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be trying to sell out of that timeshare anytime soon either, because it's really been one of the shining spots for Madison's defense, and how they've gotten so many opportunities to get down the field here.
And I think that's something that a lot of SFL teams are going to look at. There is a lot of talent on both sides of the ball here for this Madison team. And I think a lot of these guys are going to get drafted, especially that guy right there, JT Jackson, who just joined the team a few weeks ago, coming up with a huge interception there. And we may not be done with this game yet, Alden.
No, I listen, I love close games like this, and a great job, man. That looked like a double coverage interception at first, but he just did such a great job reading where that's going to go, and you feel the excitement sort of bubbling up in your tummy when you have exciting moments like this.
3rd takeaway of the game for the Madison defense. And Marcus Duncan, second verse, same as the first, unfortunately for them. Tundra speed. Activating that 4-wheel drive, coming up with a big stop there. 2nd and 9. I mean, it's tough. Do you play off Tundra or do you play off speed? You gotta alternate a little bit. But we've only called his name twice today. So. Duncan around the right side, breaks the tackle inside the 20, and then finally brought down at the 15. Rachel Minner and Jerry D. Gond combining on the stop. But a fresh set of downs here for Madison.
And this is something that we've really seen Marcus Duncan struggle with all game. You know, he takes the space there and even breaks a tackle, doing a great job to get the ball past the line himself there.
And if Madison could punch this in, it'd be a 5-point game.
It'd be a brand new ball game.
It'd be a brand new game with the extra point. And the way Madison's defense has been playing, and they've gotten 2 3-and-outs on Annapolis in the second half. They had one in the first half as well.
I think we need to be on upset watch here, quite frankly. We'll see if it upgrades to an upset warning, but upset watch right now for sure.
Absolutely. I love that the demarcation there between watch and warning. Duncan again. Duncan corralled behind the line. That was Gary Hounds again. Madison's going to hurry up. 3rd and 12. They're going to stay in this formation. That's a surprise. Duncan. Taking a big shot there, and it'll be 4th and 8. Clock continuing to run. That was Tyson Thorne with the pleasantries. And Duncan heads back to the huddle.
Yeah, oh man, I almost wonder if this is 4-down territory because you need the touchdown that bad.
Madison trailing by 12. A field goal would do them no good. It would still be a 2-point game, a 2-score game, excuse me. Even with the 3 points. So here we go. Moon throwing to the end zone. Deflected, incomplete. Intended for Curtis Walker, but just a slew of white jerseys there.
And
Madison will turn it over on downs.
That was the right ball placement too. He's able to get it into his hands, but he's just swarmed by the white and green, and not able to hold on to it. That's a heartbreaker for Madison.
Jared Egon, the first to break that up, making first contact on Walker. And now for Gene Struthers, it's simple. Just hand the ball to this guy, Randy Squarebush. And look at him continue to fight for yardage. As we are inside 4 minutes to play here, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, man, Madison's defense has played well all day, but I feel like at a certain point for Randy Squarebush, you need to start sending cheerleaders, start sending the popcorn guy. I mean, how do you bring this guy down otherwise?
We haven't seen a tripwire yet. That might work.
Oh, caltrops. That's a good idea.
And just paint it the same color as the field, and then
Spike strips, yeah.
Oh, I like that too. All great and totally legal ideas. Squarebush are on the left side. It's going to be close. 3rd and 2. You see the yardage there. 245 yards on just 17 carries. You could do the math, but that's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, boy, talk about a stat that sums it all up, huh?
And they are still on the offensive side of the ball to boot. So he's not done yet. Clock continuing to run. Squarebush. It's going to lose a couple yards off that total as we hit 4th down. And I think Annapolis is going to let this run down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right here. It's really, I think that's a bit of a blow to Madison too. I think they really ideally would have liked to use the 2-minute warning as an unofficial 4th timeout here.
Absolutely. Pete Ellis. And we have not confirmed if this is 2 different Pete Elli or the same Pete Ellis rapidly changing uniforms for both teams. Maybe we find out at the other end of the 2-minute warning. Annapolis will have their tickets going on sale shortly. You're watching the SFL Minor League. You're on SFL YouTube. You're in Madison, Wisconsin. Josh Sturkel hanging out with Alden Bleeker, watching some minor league football. Cameron Irvine in the truck. He doesn't get to talk. He's got to push all the buttons. Annapolis looking like they are wrapping up their 5th win of the season, and in doing so, securing not only a berth to the playoffs, but a home playoff game as well, as the 2nd of 4 teams that will make the SFL Minor League postseason.
Yeah, and it's been such a contentious season. You know, so many of these teams sitting at the middle of the pack for so long. It's really taken up to the last couple of games for the playoff picture to really sort of crystallize.
And Xander Moon is going to close this out, and Tank Williams will watch that pop in and out of the breadbasket. And to your point on the parity in the league, I think that has to do with a number of factors, obviously. But the second, perhaps the most predominant, being that we have over 100 players in the minor league.
Yeah,
a staggering number. And we may have a couple players join the league before the draft even begins, which is granted, it's just a couple weeks away. But I think that's a big reason why we're seeing what we're seeing, as Moon is going to take one more stab at it. We were talking about Randy Squarebush, Alden, and I was compelled to look up the record for most rushing yards in a game at the minor league level. First of all, Randy Squarebush owns that record. And if you know this already, you could tell me. But can you guess what the record is for most yards rushed in a game?
I'm guessing it's over 500. I couldn't even ballpark it, to be honest.
It is actually under 500. There's a big catch by Adrian Ellis. They're going to hurry up. It's actually 417. That is an average of over 100 yards a quarter. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous is the word for it. And I mean, we've seen not quite record-breaking performance by Randy Squarebush, but we've seen, I think ridiculous is the word to use.
It's going to put him comfortably over 1,500 yards from scrimmage for the season. And by the way, it's an 8-game season. Good luck to all the SFL big league teams that are going to have to defend him next season, as Moon throws off a defender. And looking for Haynes in the end zone, but Dominic Watts was there. Madison.
And that was
less than play.
That was a big boy play by Xander Moon there. Does a great job to shake off the tackle and get that pass more or less on target, but just a great job of the secondary of Annapolis as well.
Absolutely. Xander Moon not done yet in the punch set. Throwing to Baker, and Baker's going to be stopped 3rd and 1. They're going to hurry up. And they're right on the doorstep here. They're in an offensive set. They could throw out of this play action. And there's the out route, and not quite there. Oh my goodness, had a receiver ready to go. That was Curtis Walker. Curtis Walker getting a lot of attention tonight.
Yeah, these 4 wide receiver plays, you'd think they'd give Madison a better chance in the end zone, but just so well covered by Annapolis. I mean, I would have to assume they're going to go for it here.
I sure hope so.
Take their very last opportunity here. It's 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th here.
Out of the shotgun. Moon has time over the middle. Caught, touchdown. Ron Haynes, his 2nd of the game.
Well, I don't count them out of it just yet. 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th, as I said, but every now and then 2 strikes bottom of the 9th leads to a grand slam by the team that's behind. And Xander Moon does his best, puts this throw on a line, somehow manages to get around the coverage of Annapolis, and they're going to give themselves a chance on an onside kick to get one more stab at putting themselves back into this game.
It'll be a 5-point margin pending the extra point here from Alex Jackson. Ron Haynes' 2nd touchdown of the game. And it's a big one. 35-30 with just 35 seconds remaining. And Alex Jackson will be called upon one more time to deliver his most important kick of the night.
The hands team on deck for both teams here.
And here we go. Looks good. And it's right into the hands of Owen Ward, the backup cornerback. And that is going to be all she wrote. A valiant effort from a strong, passionate Madison team. But in the end, Alden, Annapolis, just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like you say, Madison giving Annapolis and their fans a bit of a scare there at the end, but just really a complete performance by Annapolis. And this isn't a kneel here.
No, this is Randy Squarebush running into the red zone, and now Madison will start to use those timeouts. And even if Annapolis gets the field goal, we might be too far gone to be even discussing this. However, if Annapolis is held to a field goal, that would be an 8-point lead, providing that Madison would find some way to get down to the opposite end zone.
And then they could go for 2.
They go for 2 and tie it and somehow force this game into overtime. But it looks like they're going to kneel it here.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, Madison defiant to the end here, it seems.
Madison using their 2nd timeout. They have 1 left. They'll use their last timeout after this play.
And ending the game on their own terms are Madison, and I think that's something you have to respect.
The GGs starting to fly in the chat. And once again, I feel compelled to point out that this Madison team has some very talented players on it. Some of them already in the major leagues. Charlie Baker, for example, in Fort Worth. Adrian Ellis in Denver. And there will be more to come. Yeah, Marcus Duncan certainly getting his name called.
And I think that's really been one of the biggest problems in the SFLm for a while now, is that there's so many talented players and just not enough spaces for them all. I think that really is why we should be so glad that the expansion of the league has gone so well, is because now you're going to have more spaces for these great players to find their fit at the next level.
And that is going to do it. Congratulations to the Annapolis Navigators. You are heading to the playoffs. 35-30 your final. Out of Wisconsin, Alden Bleeker, your thoughts on the game?
Oh, wow. This was, you look at the score and you look at the comparative statistics here. I mean, this was a pretty darn close game all throughout. It just felt like somehow, some way, Annapolis, with the explosive touchdowns and explosive running of Randy Squarebush, and even to a certain extent the passing of Gene Struthers, we're really able to outmuscle Madison. And that's not to take away anything from Madison. Their offense really had to overcome the fact that Marcus Duncan was being so contained the entire time, but yet they managed to put up 30 points on the board. They managed to put up almost 250 passing yards. And I think there's if in fact alternative universes are real, I think there's an alternative universe right now where Madison were able to get one more touchdown and are celebrating finishing the season on 2 wins and 2 heartbreak upsets.
Marcus Duncan for Madison finished with 80 yards rushing. It certainly didn't feel like it. He got a lot of volume, caught a lot of balls as well. And I think that when Madison got Adrian Ellis more involved, and got Ron Haynes more involved, I think we really started that offense, started to see that offense hum in spots. I think Xander Moon played a nice game with the pressure he had, not only against the defensive front, but also with the secondary as well. Yeah. Obviously, that guy right there, Ron Haynes, a couple of touchdowns, a lot of bright spots there for Madison.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns and almost 250 yards passing, like we said, like we said for Xander Moon. So even though there were some struggles on offense for Madison, I think they really, a lot of their offensive players have shown what they can offer to an SFL team at the next level.
And a big surprise here, your player of the game is Randy Squarebush. 19 attempts, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a partridge in a pear tree. For Alden Bleeker, for Cameron Irvine in the truck, my name is Josh Zirkle. Thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations again to the Annapolis Navigators. Your final score out of Madison: Navigators 35, Lynx 30. More SFLm action coming your way here on SFL YouTube. Don't go anywhere.